And the loser of this faces Samij in losers. And we are seeing Atrocitus versus Sub-Zero.
And starting off with a pretty slow normal in that back two. There from Atrocitus, going for the startup on it again, but eats the clone. Doesn't put him active for quite a few frames. And Buffalo, even with 2 hits, doesn't break the armor, but doesn't get hit by the barrel either, and no meter to convert this into a standing reset potentially. Let's go with the 4-2. And to trade those active frames of that spit. Look out for that on display, guys. Once he gets back to the wall, just puts active frames into the clone. That way it stops Buffalo from jumping in, from following it in, and getting through the clone with ease right now as Rewind. The health lead is in Buffalo's favor. Look at all this chip. Oh no, gets the meter run, but too far away!
If he was in the corner, that would have connected. We'd be seeing Buffalo with an empty first health bar, but just a little bit out of range.
We're trying to backdash
Good
there.
block.
Was Rewind, but Buffalo is going to catch it. Good start here to Buffalo. And already back to the corners. Rewind. It gets opened up by the hammer. Every time I see that, don't think it goes through my mind. What's the time? Every time. And Buffalo playing really well.
That shield says, no sir.
I'll spill your blood. I will freeze your fire.
Holding on to the pixel here. Rob back 3. Now that looked like a whip punish. Full screen by Rewind. Buffalo might have got input error there.
Yeah, I think what he was going for was probably back forward 3 and wound up getting the wrong input. And that's kind of what I was talking about on Twitter, is there's not really a cue to let you know when you can actually move. Because the animations for the characters are at the end of the first health bar. And they don't symbol the start of the second health bar. And sometimes it causes that.
Look at
Rewind getting some damage.
Yeah, on this comeback. This is a huge comeback, all from the vomit there through the ice cone that Buffalo tried to follow in on. He needs to be careful there. Maybe scout it next time with an EX Ice Ball.
Cold. You'll bathe in your own blood.
Okay, Buffalo has more bars. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Very nice. Slide under.
Now, that's also something he can do when he gets the clone up in the corner right here. The vomit actually gets rid of it. I did not know that. If he could get the slide in there, then he could launch him potentially. We'll use the plus range from the grab. This is a back and forth fight. Health leads have changed on both sides. Go down 2.
Nice, down 2. Not letting him burn the meter at the end of that punch float to stay safe. Oh, and it looked like he had the reaction to the air tech, and it looked like Rewind was going to be able to block there for a minute.
He actually did block the first stand 1 in there. It looks like he blocked the second one. Got clipped by the overhead at the end of 1-1-1, which is a very sneaky overhead. It's a very sneaky overhead.
There is a 1-1-3 as well that knocks down. You can't combo off of it, but it is a low, so there's a little mix-up after that 1-1.
Catwoman.
Going to Catwoman is quite interesting. I'm not too sure in my few years of watching this game that's been out for less than a year if I've seen Rewind's Catwoman.
I think we saw it a couple games a couple weeks ago. It wasn't completely there yet. Now, we haven't seen Rewind compete in a little bit. Plus, we've had a lot of breaks, so he's had a lot of time to finesse this character, and here we go. Confirms into the cat dash. And we are already in the corner, ladies and gentlemen.
Actually got him out of the startup of the bump. Oh, no, here it comes, and it's so big. There is no escape.
That was such a good reactionary down 1 from Buffalo to interrupt that unblockable interactable, but it didn't matter. It came again. Okay, some good pressure. Doesn't burn the bar the second time. Confirms. Do need meter to be able to freeze them and continue the combo. Something I'm sure it took sub players quite a bit of time to kind of get used to. Ooh!
And a jump 2 hit behind Buffalo, able to break the armor on the back 3, but Rewind still holding on to a decent health lead as we get into Buffalo's second bar of health. But pretty decent positioning here for Buffalo. Trying to push around to this corner. Sub-Zero is low-key one of the biggest damage dealers of Injustice 2 right now.
Oh, for sure. We saw some huge damage from Buffalo on Saturday. It jumps right into the clone. Since day 1, you cannot jump into that clone. Sub-Zero will shut that down, and a slide anti-air. Very good by Buffalo.
Yeah, beautifully reactionary there by Buffalo, getting him all tied up in this match. Coming in with the bike. Oh no, going through the whip.
Giving Catwoman a little taste of her own medicine there. Her super does involve a motorcycle, reminiscent of Nightwing in Injustice 1. Oh my god, I don't even know.
Oh my goodness, at the very just the tip.
Everything going right for Buffalo right now. All the straight hits. And breaks the armor, the jump in, plus the clone. Dagger pressure by Rewind. Tries to mix it up a little bit. Slide coming out. Buffalo not scared. Blocks the back three. And this is going to close it out. Buffalo up 2-0.
The switch looked so good early on from Rewind, but the composure from Buffalo, he is playing out of his mind this week here on War of the Gods. He has shown up, and guys, look out in the future for this kid. And we saw, even at the end of Mortal Kombat X, he was really on the rise, playing really well. He got his character finally here in Injustice 2, but even early on, played really well with Superman and Captain Cold. And finally has a home here with Sub-Zero, and it's looking pretty good. And coming in with a Grandmaster-like skin, the white and the blue, maskless. He is a big fan of maskless Sub-Zero. And I think the one time he broke out a mask, was it against Dragon on Sunday? There was one match where he broke out the mask, and it looked like he was playing at an even higher level.
Yeah, I think it was the last game that he broke out the mask, if I remember correctly. I don't remember exactly who it was against, but I do remember him bringing it out. Finally gets opened up. He gets opened up again by the forward 2, back 3. We're going into the corner. Dexter halfway filled up, punch walk. Just to keep that trait meter building as the combos continue. And the forward 2 again, Rewind doing everything right. Dexter will come out here down to, yes.
Oh yes, he wants to guarantee the round by taking out Dexter right there. No matter what you do, Rewind off to a much better start right there. And I like that he came off all the resources. He did not care. He wanted that bar belt. And wow, did the 3 on that back 2-3.
Okay, confirms. Meter burn, ice ball. Gets him with the low.
I think he missed his back 3 or 4-3 input there. It's a little tricky to time it off an empty jump like that.
Okay. Completely avoids it in the whip punish.
He's got the meter.
Not out of this.
This is the same kind of comeback we saw. It gets the whip punish to the level 1. This is the same comeback we saw in the very last game where Rewind had a huge advantage. He was up 600 health, and Buffalo was able to bring it back, and now Rewind had a 1,000 health lead and bringing it right back as Buffalo. The composure on this kid right now. Oh, but trying to forward 2 in the active frames, that is a no-no.
Can you take the cold? It cannot trump rage.
That forward 2 is such a good mid. Catching a lot of backdashes by Rewind. Even since the first game, and actually whip punishes the vomit, but doesn't have the meter to continue the combo. And Dexter should be almost completely built up. And here we go. We should be seeing Dexter come out. Yes. This is where Rewind has to go in, get his damage push block. Dexter is gone.
I'm shocked that we haven't seen it.
Oh my god, it worked. It worked, but he dropped it.
Very good reactionary down 2. And that was good recognition there by Rewind to not see the meter burn there and actually be able to react in time to get the down 2 out. Buffalo tried to put a mind game out there of is he going to meter burn the shatter or not. Use that kind of pseudo plus frame mentality to try to sneak a jump in, Rewind all over it. And switching back to the big red machine now in this match, 1-2.
Atrocitus, Sub-Zero.
I think word on the street is they're called phantom frames. When you're not plus, but they have to respect a little bit, so it kind of forces that hesitation.
Fighters approaching Gorilla City.
It's a I think a really old FGC member one time told me in MKX that it was a plus mentality.
A plus mentality. Okay, we'll roll with it.
Call it whatever you want, ladies and gentlemen.
It doesn't matter. Back 3. We're going to the corner here. Buffalo.
No fear.
Opened up by the punch walk. That slide is so good. Low profiles. Gets under that Dexter shot. Really fast wake up. Will the mix come? Yes, it will. Rewind pulling out all the stops.
Get out of jail free card. knifing his way out. Good reaction by Rewind. Get the blood puddle. I don't know if the blood puddle was a punish or not. Very good. We've seen Buffalo push block Dexter a whole lot. Rewind is trying to send us to a second game 5. Just doing a poke in the background bounce.
One thing I would like to know, maybe the chat can inform me of this. Rewind, even with the shield out, is respecting the clone. I don't know if Atrocitus can still get frozen if the shield, doesn't get rid of the clone or not, but he was respecting it with the shield out. And a whip punish burns the bar. We're going for damage here.
My rage will consume you. Of that, I am painfully aware.
Thank you, Triclops. Yeah, the shield doesn't always protect you from the clone, so I guess it's very situational on what's going to happen. Rewind not wanting to take the chance. Good whip punish, going to close out. Almost pretty even here going into the second health bar. Rewind wants to tie this thing up, take us to a game 5.
Alright, Rewind. Opening up with the 4-2-2. Shatter, and this falling for the same thing. There is Buffalo. Had the meter been there for the plus frames. We tried to use it for jumping instead, and Rewind has blown him up 2 for 2 now on that setup.
You'll bathe in your own blood.
This isn't going to be enough to even us out, and now Rewind poised to try to send us to a game 5. What an interrupt there with that stand 1.
Catch him with the low again, and that stream. Second hit is a low. Won't kill. This is going to do some really good damage here. Drops the ender. Rewind got a little bit of work to do, but he does have 3 bars at his disposal, and Dexter is out. The pressure is coming.
That was such a dangerous Dexter call. It was close to Buffalo. 4-2-2-2 may have even punished it if it would react. Getting the down 2 into the shatter, but doesn't have the meter. And going 2 for 2 on the meter for cancel. And the jump 2 is going to get it from Buffalo, barely etching out the win. Even though it's 3-1, that was a very tight set. And the Lin Kuei Grandmaster himself, Buffalo, is going to move on to winners finals.
Yeah, Rewind had 4 bars there at one point.